Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement. It is a My Mom's Basement quick hitter with Robbie and Clem, and we are here to talk about the new trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I also love that title, that he's in the Multiverse of Madness. It feels like one of those like Batman in like for the animated series or something. So we
Yeah.
got the first full trailer. Is this the first full trailer? We get the teaser at the end of No Way Home, right? This was the first full trailer for the Super Bowl. We got a TV spot as well. And holy shit, we got a lot, Clem.
Yeah, the word is a lot. That's the perfect way to put it. The Super Bowl for me is like one of those things that it's just like I get excited for it every year. And then it's just such a crazy night because you have the game going on. I mean, we work in sports. So, usually if you cover it or do something like that, have to be quote unquote on. You can't even like take a break during the commercials like you do for regular football because the commercials are like an event, right? The good commercials, you have to see what goes on, what's funny, blah, blah, blah. Can't really piss during then. There's food, there's drinks, there's all this stuff. It's a goddamn event of a night. Now we're getting monstrous trailers that I'm going to be honest, Bob, there's a lot that is going to be going on in these trailers. Then when the movie comes and like, I don't know if my brain is ready to really like
You're in
dive
the
into.
multiverse of madness.
I am. My brain is the multiverse of madness, and there's a lot of stuff we're going to be getting into, and we've already talked about it. Spoiler alert: we're having Jose Youngs back on the show. We were having Jose on for Moon Knight. That was already like in the works. We are going to have him on to explain Moon Knight, but based on just like this like 1 minute trailer, whatever it was, we need him back just to like tell us what the fuck's going on with all this stuff. Cause there is levels to this trailer. Dumb idiot like me watches it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And obviously the big reveal, there is so much more than that. And that's just what they're letting us know so far.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Before we do, I want to mention our friend Michael Waldron hit me up last night, and I don't think he would mind me saying this. His one quote for the trailer, I just said, dude, I can't believe all that came from your brain. And he said, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Can't wait for you to see it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Holy shit. So let's get into it. The trailer opens with a Doctor Strange quote, a great one, where he says, every night I dream the same dream. Then the nightmare begins. And we see like the sanctum being destroyed and what almost looked like the void from Loki. Like it was just like a void space and the sanctum was like dissipating into the sky. Does Strange, you think, because he's asking about the multiverse in this trailer, have no memory at all of what he did in Spider-Man, of like healing the multiverse for Peter Parker and everything because of the spell?
I think Doctor Strange is having the same dream that we have every night that we talked about on our Boba Fett podcast. He has his locker and he can't remember the combination because
Yeah.
I have that dream every night and it is fucking terrible. I haven't been in school in decades, Robert, and fucking this guy is having the same thing. Doctor Strange is just like us. He's a doctor, right? He was in med school. He probably has that like dream from all the different times of his life. He has a lot of schools, so he has a lot of locker dreams. Now, I feel like he remembers what's going on, but I just think we're in different like astral planes and shit like that. You probably never know what's reality, what's dreamland, and what's kind
Does
of.
he remember he did that for Spider-Man, but not Peter Parker? Maybe that's the whole thing.
Oh, I didn't think about that because he's technically in. So this is going to be probably like we're going to be drawing. This Doctor Strange is going to start following the events of Spider-Man, right? No Way Home.
Absolutely. And it's also following the events of WandaVision. We see him visit Wanda in the area we saw the WandaVision post-credit scene, like she's in the countryside somewhere, laying low still, and she's trimming branches when we first see her. And heavy spoilers pointed out that is a very multiverse thing, trimming the branches of the multiverse, something like that. It's also possibly an illusion entirely because there's a shot later on in the trailer where she basically says, you break the rules, you become a hero. And when I do it, I'm a villain. That's not fair. And Doctor Strange is wearing all the same clothes, but the environment is like surrounded in this red glow, this WandaVision scary look. So this could all be an illusion of her like having this peaceful, serene garden out there. Who the fuck knows with that? Maybe some Darkhold magic as well. We know she's searching for Billy and Tommy from the end of WandaVision. And from the TV spot, this is weird, but it was in the TV spot, not the trailer. We saw a zombie Wanda and a zombie Strange. The zombie Strange is at the end of this, but there was another look at him and everything. Wanda, my early prediction is that she will steal the show in this movie. She was so good in WandaVision. I think she's going to go full Dark Phoenix here as well. I think she's the main villain here, and I think she's going to steal this movie.
Damn it, Bob. That was going to be my take. I think she's going Steph Curry on this motherfucker. I think, like, we've seen, like, this
we
is
got
like
the Unimind, Clem, you and me.
Yeah, we're locked in. We're locked in sync on all this. We were planning out the pod, and we were basically tit for tat on everything. I'm telling you, this is like when you saw Steph Curry and he like in the beginning of his career, you're like, oh man, that motherfucker could shoot. This is gonna be Wanda's like when Steph took over Vine and was just putting up like 50 points and like breaking our brains. This is Wanda's coming out party. This movie, it's Doctor Strange in name only. It's fucking Wanda. Yeah. Fucking WandaVision 2.0, the real WandaVision, and the other motherfucker's dead. R.I.P. She said Viz too. I love when she calls him Viz. I always love hearing that. Imagine getting into fucking like a philosophy discussion with Vision or Paul Bettany about like the multiverse, like with that voice. It would just be such a delight. It would be terrifying, but it'd be a delight.
Yeah, he probably used to tell her theories like to put her to sleep at night, like just like such as a delightful, serene little like, yeah, the multiverse might be out there, and 2 seconds later. So do you think Wanda brings in mutants by the end of this movie as well? That was a question I wrote for you, because the whole House of M, no more mutants, but if we're bringing in mutants here, maybe she hits the more mutants, the reverse of that line.
Oh man, we've been looking for mutants since WandaVision, you know, and we thought the more mutants was gonna be the thing that brought in all the X-Men, right? We had that sus motherfucker Boner coming in as Quicksilver, and we thought we were gonna get all 20th Century Fox jumping through portals at us and stuff like that. Remember the Magneto stuff where she did the same stuff as Magneto, who's her dad? I would love it. Again, there was a little bit of a pandemic that might have thrown some wrench into the plans of how they were going to introduce all these characters, because this was supposed to be right after WandaVision, right? So if that's how this all plays out, I'll be 100% fine with it. And again, there's nothing Wanda can do in this movie that I will be surprised about, just in terms of power. And if she just fucking brings the X-Men to fucking existence, and that's how you win MVP of the MCU for 2022. Bring me my X-Men. Bring them to me.
And think about her possibly fighting Supreme Strange, who we saw from What If. There was a little What If Marvel logo here as well. And there's the Captain Carter shield in the poster. So we're going to get some What If woven in here. Imagine her fighting that version of Doctor Strange, like the two maybe most powerful heroes / villains we've ever seen in this universe. So that would be insane. And they're pretty similar in terms of their story arcs. Like they both lost the person they love and it drove them crazy.
Yeah. And like roided out magically, right? And they have like this dark side of them due to their loss. All bets are off the table. And I saw a poster. It's 3 different Doctor Stranges and 2 Wandas. So I do feel like we're going to have a whole bunch of like, who is who's the good guy. And that's a lot of fucking magical might in there between those 5 people. I'm terrified of it. And it's a horror movie, right? It's like technically a horror movie.
I think it's definitely got horror vibes. They said the most horror vibes we've ever seen out of the MCU. Makes sense with the Sam Raimi Evil Dead director. You got to do it. And there is that shot of Wanda looking at herself where she's got blood all over her face that looks like something out of a horror movie. The zombie scenes look like something out of a horror movie. It looks fucking scary. So I do think we are going to get that weird variant of Wanda. We're going to get a couple of Doctor Strange. I don't trust any of the Doctor Strange variants, not even the one they're calling Defender Strange, because I saw some people saying he might be a fascist. So add him to the sus list right away. Add Supreme Strange to the sus list right away. We're not trusting anyone but our Strange right now. We might not even be trusting him.
You want to know what the sus list is? I'll give you a little sneak advance. This is a spoiler. Go to the IMDb page for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Anyone listed there is on the sus list. Waldron's on the sus list. I don't trust that motherfucker either. He looked us right in our eyes, and he knows all the chaos he laid out and what's going to take place. You can't even trust Robbie Fox or myself right now. That's the kind of shit that's going down.
We might be variants right now. You might be watching a variant podcast, and you might not even know it. The craziest thing that we saw in this trailer, the Illuminati. Apparently, this is who this is, the Marvel Illuminati, who in the comics consists of Xavier, of Doctor Strange, of Iron Man, of Reed Richards. We see Mordo from the Doctor Strange movie is in this one, and we hear the voice of Patrick Stewart as Professor X. This was a total shock. X-Men are in the MCU now. This is the official first look at X-Men in the MCU. First sound, really. You don't really get to see him. But part of that not getting to see him is making some people wonder, is he playing the same version of Professor X from his movies, where unfortunately he died at the end of all of those movies, right? Does that take away some of the emotional weight from Logan? I don't know. I kind of disagree. I say if you bring in Patrick Stewart, you bring in Patrick Stewart. If you could do it, you have to do it. But could this be the Professor X from the 90s X-Men cartoon, who at the conclusion of that series had to go on a healing trip to the Shi'ar Empire? Did he go off to the Illuminati? Is he going to be in that yellow floaty chair in this fucking movie?
I want the floaty chair so goddamn bad. I love that color, too. The color of that floaty chair was perfect. Listen, and I get it. Look, X-Men guy right here, Die Hard. I understand the whole thing about the way Logan ended and like kind of the way it wrapped up the character and how people don't want to like ruin that by bringing him back. I mean, this happens all the time, whether it's comic books, wrestling, everything was so nicely wrapped in about. This is the thing. Patrick Stewart agreed with you, and that's why he never wanted to like come into the MCU. And then the fact he's coming back, I do feel like it's going to be a variant thing. And again, like it's kind of what they did with Quicksilver. It's like that's not the Quicksilver; it's like a version of it or a funny little nod. And listen, we just had spoiler for Spider-Man, who hasn't fucking seen it still at this point on Valentine's Day of 2022. We had all 3 Spider-Men there. There's going to be variants. That's what this whole multiverse, this whole phase is going to be about, let alone forget about scrolls and all that kind of stuff. Just like if it's not the Professor X from that timeline, that's 100% fine with me. And again, big time X-Men guy, but I'm cool with it, especially if it's a variant.
And I love that they got Patrick Stewart as well, because James McAvoy I thought was really, really good as Xavier, but Patrick Stewart is Xavier. When you think about Charles Xavier in the X-Men movies, he's so iconic in that role. The fact that they got him back was awesome. And speaking of the multiverses, the different Spider-Men, I predict that we will see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in this movie, maybe even his MJ, because Sam Raimi is the director of those movies. Why wouldn't he want to revisit his own universe, right? That would be, if we're jumping in between multiverses, why not? Everyone wants to see that.
Bob Fox calling his shot. I dig it. Okay, I'll fuck with that. Yeah. This is the way the Knicks fan brain works too, where it's like, oh, they once worked together. That's how like every other free agent is about to like become on the market, and it's like the assistant to the assistant GM once like played with him in AAU, and like, oh, that's a lock. They're gonna play it. He's coming to the Knicks. So Bob is connecting dots.
I am connecting dots, and some other smaller things out of the trailer, which is crazy that these were the smaller things because they would be the bigger things in any other trailer. We see what looks like a Captain Marvel variant. People are speculating that this could possibly be Maria or Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. That would be very cool. They're fighting Wanda in the little shot that we get of him. We get Rintrah, the Minotaur Wizard, which I'm not even going to try to expand on. Jose will explain that to us at some point, because a Minotaur Wizard, what the fuck are we talking about? We get America Chavez, who's apparently one of the strongest, most important new characters to the MCU. She was supposed to be in Spider-Man when the dates were supposed to be like reversed. This was going to be coming out before that or something like that. She was going to be the person who pulled the Spider-Man in, and it got rewritten to be Ned because they wanted her in this movie instead. Something like that went down. But she's able to jump between realities, between multiverses. That's her main power. She's also got super strength. She's super powerful and almost invincible, apparently. And we see, unfortunately for you and Doctor Strange, Rachel McAdams, Christine Palmer is getting married to someone that is not you or Strange. And I think because she's still with Strange and America Chavez later in the trailer, maybe that big Gargantos, that big like eye tentacle monster, attacks during her wedding. What if she ruins that? Because there's a shot of like them looking out of the chapel and like being shocked. That's my early prediction there. And also, Wong is in this trailer. Don't want to leave him out. I hope Wong doesn't die here. That would devastate me.
Man, we're on Wong watch for a while now. I feel like he's definitely filled a lot of roles here, and it could be like they've built him up enough to really make it hurt if they fucking kill him. Oh, Bob, that really hurt. I didn't see that.
Waldron better not stab us in the back like that. Love is a dagger. Waldron, we love you for now, but that dagger may stab us right in the back.
Mike, I know you listen. You're going to have, look at these two guys. We're very different, but we can still fuck you up. All right. We'll break your writing hand too. We won't let you put you in the hospital. We'll break your writing hand. What's your typing hand?
It'll be like a Misery reboot. We'll like make him write a new thing where Wong lives.
Yeah, exactly. I'll call my shot for the Gargantos, or what, the gargantuan monster. One of the Stranges kind of like lets it in, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to look the other way. If you happen to disrupt Rachel McAdams' wedding to someone else, I'm not going to be all that upset. I kind of like even like the good Doctor Strange has kind of abused his power. I think that's kind of the like, the message of this movie. So I kind of like just like, because like I feel like we'd all, at least if we had Doctor Strange's powers, we'd all kind of think about doing that at some point if we were in a similar situation. So I kind of love that.
Especially, I mean, he doesn't have the time stone anymore, but if you had the time stone, oh my God, every time you make a mistake in your life, you're going back a little bit. Let me recorrect that. And like you could get that 100% on life if you want to use the video game terms. That was the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, though. We are so excited for this movie. It comes out May 6th. I'm sure tickets will go on sale soon. And as Waldron said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So who the fuck knows what's in the actual movie itself? It's going to be awesome. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, and we will see you later this week for a Peacemaker finale preview and recap.
And put in the comments what you like 3 predictions for the movie. I want to hear what you guys think now, because you guys have bigger brains than us half the time. Most of the
Give
time,
us the predictions.